This conference will now be recorded. This conference will now be recorded.
Let me share my screen. Mm, Okay. Are you able to see my screen?
Yeah, yes.
So the next topic that we're going to discuss is FCC. So what do you mean by FCC? FCC is nothing but file content conversion. Okay. So what does it mean? It means it will help you to convert contents of a file into an XML format or an XML format into a flat file. So it will help you in both ways. So you can convert using this, you can convert the data from flat file to XML or XML to flat file. So when you say flat file, what does it mean? We have already seen some examples in the previous case when we process the file or when we discussed about flat file. So how the data will be, right? So data will be like this, like f name. So data will be right. So this is a sample example for you where the content of the file that you are going to process or that you are going to place, either it can be source file or it can be target file. Content of the file can be in this format where you have uh, the header record here and followed by actual data records here. Okay, by looking at this, what do you understand? Your file is a flat file. Okay, and then okay, I'll keep it like this. 1 second. Okay, so let us assume that this is your sample file where inside that file you have data like this where you have to pick this file. So by looking at this, the things that you need to understand is there are a few things that you need to understand. First thing is you have file, I mean data inside that file in a flat file format. Okay, that is first thing that you need to understand. Okay, second thing, note down these points. Second thing, how the data is being represented. Data is being represented in an comma separated or a special character separated format. It means every value is being separated by a special character. It can be comma, or it can be underscore, or it can be semicolon, or anything it can be. But each value is being separated by a special character. This is the special character, and you cannot use multiple special characters. Either you have to go with comma for the whole file, or you have to go with underscore for the whole file, or you have to go with semicolon for the whole file. So it's that only you can use a single special character in a single file to differentiate the values. Okay. Next thing, how many files are there as per the structure? So you will get the data according to the structure, right, of that interface. So in the by looking at this file, what do you understand? So there are three fields. First field is first name, second field is last name, third field is location. So you get the data according to that. Each record you will have data according to that. Okay, and header comes only once, and item records or detail records comes multiple times. Okay. So these are the things that you need to understand when you look at a file. Okay, whether it can be either source file or it can be the target file. These are the things that you need to understand by looking at the file. Any questions on how this data is being represented? What are the things that you need to understand? So here instead of comma, you can have other special characters also, right? You can have a semicolon, okay, where each value of a field is being separated by a semicolon here. Okay, next. So if you have five fields in your structure, then you will be having corresponding values represented in the same format inside the file. Okay, followed by employee ID, followed by a department. Okay, followed by employee ID, followed by a department. Right, so like this you have your data represented where you can see first name is Shravan, last name is Kumar, location Bangalore, employee 123, the department sales. So let us assume that if this is your source file, so till yesterday we have seen we processed files which are having data inside that file in XML format, but now we would like to process this kind of files where data inside that file is not in XML format, rather they are in flat file format for you. When I say flat file format, either it can be a comma separated or a special character separated, or it can be pixel length also. We'll talk about pixel length later, but for now, data is in flat file format for you. Okay, next. So now, when we have this data in flat file format, let us assume that this is your source file. How you can convert this into XML? So to convert this into XML, we have option in our file sender channel called FCC, which is nothing but file content conversion. So what it will do is it will try to help you either to convert data from uh, flat file to XML or XML to flat file. Okay? So this is how this FCC is going to help you either to convert flat file to XML or XML to flat file. So where do you convert? In which case you follow this approach, and which case you follow this approach. So flat file to XML will be used in sender adapter or channel, and XML to flat file will be done in receiver adapter or channel. Why? Because what are you trying to do? You are trying to convert flat file to XML. So I told you that data inside PI, the data will be in XML. Data processing will happen in XML format. So when you're trying to convert the data from flat file to XML, it means this is a sender communication side for you. Okay. Whereas when you want to send the data to receiver, data inside PI will be in XML. If your receiver is expecting data in flat file format, then you will go with XML to flat file, where you will be doing it using receiver adapter. Okay. First thing is, like, why do we use these flat file FCC? As I told you already, data inside the PI will be in XML format. Sometimes your data that you are expecting from your sender might not be in XML format, whereas it can be in this format like flat file, or your receiver might be expecting data in some other format. Okay, no, but not in XML. So you have to convert the data according to the requirement. So to achieve that or to address that, in this case, as we are dealing with flat file, so we have to convert that data from flat file to XML or XML to flat file using FCC file content conversion. Okay. Yeah. Any questions till now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So while doing this file content conversion configuration, there are few parameters that are needed for us to understand, okay, or to provide as part of that configuration, so that the data will be converted. Okay. We'll talk about sender communication. While doing sender communication, where to convert data from flat file to XML. Okay. So when you want to convert data from flat file to XML, what does it mean? It means your data is in this format and you would like to convert this data into an XML, actual XML data, right? So for that, you have to provide a few things. First thing is, you know how the structure representation will be inside our CPI for this. Can you tell me how the structure representation will be inside CPI for these sample data? How the data type schema will be? For suppose if you have to create a data type for this schema, how you will create it? Or what is the reference, or like how the structure reference will be when you are creating it? Anyone?
Sir, how we will create means we will go to that drop down like that you are asking.
No, no. When I say how you will create, it's not that how what is the process or approach you will follow. Okay. When I say how you will create, what does it mean is, while creating the data type, you will define the field names, you will define some structure hierarchy, right? So what is the structure hierarchy you will follow to represent this structure? That's what I'm asking.
Uh, Under report we create all these field names.
Yep.
Okay.
Like first name, last name, location, EAD department. Under the record sub-elements, we'll create all.
Record.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So under the record, you will be having first name, last name, location, like this. Okay. So this is your first node record. Under this, you have all these fields. And what is the occurrence that you maintain?
0 to
Sorry,
Zero
unbounded.
to one.
Unbounded.
0 to 1 or unbounded?
Unbounded.
Why?
Because we have multiple fields to
Multiple fields or multiple
No, sir.
records?
Multiple records.
fields.
No, multiple fields. Sorry, multiple records. Okay, because this is one record for you. and this is one another record for you. But inside this record, you have first name only once, you have last name only once, and you have location only once. I'm talking about only this record. Whatever the record that I highlighted here, how many times you have first name?
One time.
Only once, right?
Two
But
times.
no, this one, the one that I've highlighted now. Can you
Oh,
tell
One
me
okay,
time.
how
okay.
many times you
One
have?
time. One time.
Only one time, right? So this is a complete record for you. Okay, I'm talking with respect to record. I'm not talking with respect to the all the data inside the file. I'm talking with respect to each record. So in each record, how many times you have file first name?
One time.
So mostly it will not appear
Zero
more
two.
than once. That's why we'll keep it as 0 to 1 for fields. Okay. So remember once again, for fields, you try to keep it as 0 to 1. For node, you try to keep it as 0 to unbounded. Why I have kept unbounded here? Because it is a record reference here. We have multiple records here. That's why I have given it as 0 to unbounded. Okay. So this is how the data, I mean, data type will be for you when you create your data type objects. Okay. Now when we come to FCC, so you have a given record here, right? So it will ask you for record set structure. What does it mean? It means what is the node that you are using to represent a record. Re- Record set structure means what is the node that you are using to represent a record, and how many types of records you have, and how many times they are repeating. So that's what the meaning of record set structure. So record set structure means what is the node that you are using to represent a record, okay, and how many times it will appear inside your data. So that is something that we need to provide here. Okay, so in this case, what is the node that we are using to represent a record? What is the name of that node?
Record.
Okay, so we'll give the name as record here, followed by comma, and how many times it can appear?
One time.
Why one time? In your file, how many times a record can appear?
Two times.
I'm not asking how many times you have it at now, right now. How many times it can appear? What is the
Unbounded
possibility?
times.
Huh. So the possibility for you to have a number of records inside the file is infinite, right? You don't know how many records you will get. Am I correct? So
Yeah.
today you might get 10 records, and tomorrow's file you might get 100 records, and day after tomorrow's file you might get 1000. So there is no specified limit for it. So that's why we kept it as unbounded, right? So it can appear any n number of times. Okay, so that's why for record structure we give it as record comma star. Okay, clear? What do you mean by record structure and how do we represent it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Clear.
Okay. Okay. Then we have to provide a few parameters. Okay. What are those parameters? We'll see. First one is um, what is the node name we are using here? Here our record name is record, right? So first one is record dot field names. So what does it mean? It means you have to specify the field names that you have as part of your structure. So as part of the structure, what is the field name sequence do we have? So this is the sequence: first name, last name, okay, location, employee ID, next department. So when you are giving these names as part of your channel configuration, remember naming convention is very important. even a single character, uppercase, lowercase, is also very important. So you have to provide the field names as it is that you have created, similar to the way that you have created in your structure. Okay, so this is my structure, right? So this is my structure data type that I've created, or message type. I also will be having the same structure. So I have to provide the names similar to my data type or message type in the FCC configuration in the same sequence. So here I have first name at the first. I have given first name at the first, followed by last name, followed by last name here. So you are not supposed to provide DEP here. Okay. So even though you have 5 fields here and you have 5 fields here, you're not supposed to change the sequence when you are giving the names in FCC. Okay, why? I'll tell you why. Next, followed by field names, followed by record dot field separator. So what does it mean? It means what is the separator you are using to differentiate each value of each field, right? What is the separator we are using here to differentiate each value of each field?
Semicolon.
Okay, yeah. So semicolon is the value that you have to provide here. Okay. Next one is record dot end separator. What does it mean? It means what is the end separator we are using to represent end of the file, or sorry, end of the record, end of each record. Okay, what is the end separator we are having to differentiate end of each record? So this is the first record, and what is the end of this record? After department, what do you have?
Empty space or nothing.
Empty space.
It's not empty space actually, it's a next line. Okay, so when you look for it, when you press next arrow here, the cursor will automatically come to the second line here. It means it's a next line for you, line break or next line for you. Okay, again at the same time, for the second record at the end you have a next line. At the third record also you'll be having a next line like that. Okay, so it means the end of record is being represented by next line. Okay, so that will be represented using single quote, NL, single quote. Okay, so these are the three important parameters that you need to know or understand how these will work and why they are needed for you. Now, what happens when you provide these parameters as part of a file sender channel? What it will do, it will try to take this data and it will try to read the fields in this sequence. So it doesn't matter what is the header record that you are maintaining, or sometimes you won't be having this header record also. So it doesn't matter what is the value that you are having here. Okay, by looking at Stravan, it will not identify whether it is a first name or last name. Okay, how it will identify it as a first name is it depends on the sequence that you are giving here. If you give fname as a first field and you have given semicolon as a separator, so first value will be taken for first name. Okay, so this is how the data will be represented for you. Okay, so it will read the data for first name. So you have first, this is the first record, right? So this is how it will be represented. Record first name tag, because you have given the first name here, followed by value. What is the value? Shravan. Okay, so this is how it will be represented, followed by last name, value is Kumar. Okay, so this is how it will be represented, so on with other fields. And at the end of first record, after you read the department, okay, then you'll be having end of record here. Next, again you have another record, again start of another record here, again followed by same thing, first name, last name, all these things, again end of record. This is how the data will be converted to XML format during runtime with these configurations. Okay, is it clear how the data will be converted? Okay, so it depends on the sequence that you are giving here. So let us assume that you give the department at the second. Now what happens is your first value, which is 7, will be considered for first name, F name, and your what is the second field reference you have given here, DEP. So now Kumar, second value is Kumar from file, that will be taken into DEP. Is it correct? No, right? This is not the right value for the right field here. Okay, why? Because you have changed the sequence here, and file is having some other sequence, and your configuration is having some other sequence. That's why your values got interchanged. Okay, so that's why when you are trying to deal with this data, this kind of data, so you have to ensure that you are following the sequence according to the structure or schema they have given to you, right? Okay then. So any questions till now?
Sir, we get these records from the client, no?
Yes, you will get
So,
this data from client. This is the sample data which you will get from client.
so will they provide F name, L name, location like that, or we
Yeah,
need to
they will
create
give you
them?
the schema. I told you when I was discussing, I showed you one Excel sheet and told you what is the sender structure, what is the receiver structure, and what is the
Yes,
mapping validation, right?
yes, yes, sir.
Right. So they
So,
will give you
yes.
that. Depending on that, you have to understand what is the structure for you.
Huh. No, sir. I am asking, will they give this field name also? Like F name is the first field name, L name is the first.
That's what you have in the Excel sheet, right? You will have a source structure. You'll be having all the field names, first name, last name, all the fields
Okay.
you'll be having as part of that, right? So by
Okay.
looking at it only, you will come to know what are the fields that should be part of your structure. So that's what
So,
I'm
sir,
doing here.
yes, sir. For creating the data type, can we
Hmm.
give, because anyway, field names are mentioned in the
Hmm.
source structure,
Hmm.
can we give the field names as we like, or we need to follow the same order?
You need to follow the same order.
Okay.
Okay, not as you like, because I told you while creating data type, it's okay if you follow any specific order, it's up to you. But while giving these names here in FCC, you have to follow the same sequence according to the file that you are getting. Okay, understand? So if you change the sequence, I told you what happens now. You can see last name is being taken to department here. Okay, so department field, so this is a department field tag, so this department field tag is represented with last name, which is incorrect, right? So the sequence you have to follow here. Okay, sequence is important while you are giving FCC inside the data type. If you have a department at the second position, it's okay, it doesn't matter, because it will not take according to the position, it will take according to the XML tag here. I'll show you in the practical tomorrow how it works, but sequence is important here in case of FCC. Okay, any other questions? Okay then. That's it for today. We'll connect again in tomorrow's session. So tomorrow's session will be at actual time 8 a.m. Okay, we can connect at 8 a.m. tomorrow. Thank you.